trying to figure out my space as far as how much room I need for everything I have to do here. On this side of the amplifier, the only thing that's going to be over here is the bass knob and the RCAs. However, on this side of the amplifier, I have all my speaker wires. So I have this big bundle of speaker wires here, and I have these two power wires, and then I have the speaker wires for the subwoofers. So I want to make sure I have enough room to get everything to go the direction I need it to before I screw down the amplifiers. I want to make sure there's a little bit of room here on the bottom because there's a wire from the factory that comes along here, and there's also a wire that comes along the top and gets in the way. The more I move the amplifiers this way, the more room I'll have obviously for wiring on this side, and this is okay because I can get to all the controls here, no problem. So I think that gets me right where I need to be. We're using ABS, which means you need to pre-drill your holes. So start by getting 2 screws into each amplifier and lining them up properly. And with that done, drill in all your other screws. With the amplifier screwed into place, screwing in the power wires and whatnot next seems like a great idea. That way I can kind of start to figure out how I want these to go. I've prepped the wire by putting braided loom, a ferrule, and our heat shrink on it. I've done this for the power and the ground. On the marine amplifiers, Kicker has a sort of like a built-in ferrule. Most of the time when you see a terminal like this, it screws down and the screw just goes directly into the wire. They add a thin piece of metal so that as you're screwing it down, it acts like a ferrule and it compresses up against the wiring. That way it doesn't cut into the wire. Because of that, getting your ferrules in could be a little bit of a struggle. I do recommend removing the screw and then push into the terminal to bend it up all the way. It's a good feature to have, but it does make the wire much tighter, which is good. You want it in there as tight as possible. You don't want it to accidentally fall out. For the main power wire, I went with red braided loom, a ferrule, and our heat shrink. Before I start zip tying down the power wire, I want to also add in the speaker wires. For that, I've twisted together the colors that I want: white, black, white, yellow, and of course green, gray, and purple. The white black is going to be my mid bass, and the white yellow is going to be my tweeter. I have matching gray wires to go with this as well. 1 and 2 are going to be my tweeter wires. And remember, this amplifier, the bottom is negative, the top is positive. So I've pre-cut them with the ground shorter than the positive. The speaker wires also have that same style input where it has that extra flap on there, which is kind of nice. As you push the wire in, it almost like locks it in place. These wires also have a ferrule and heat shrink on the end of them. With the yellows done, 3 and 4 are going to just be my white, black, gray, black. The thing that gets confusing is we're using the whites, grays as the positive. That means black and yellow are going to be negative, which of course goes against everything you stand for, having a yellow as a negative. So you kind of have to pay attention to what you're doing. Lastly is the 5 and 6, which is going to be the green and purple with a black. And that gets pretty much all the stuff, with the exception of the remote turn on, in where we need it to be. I'm not worried about the remote turn on because I can snake that in wherever it needs to go towards the end. And yes, I know I still have the thing I forget the most, the sub wires, but I'm not too worried about those because they're not going to take up a lot of real estate, whereas these are all going to take up the most real estate. The 12-volt power has to go out this way. The ground is going to come down to where that factory bolt was. What I'm looking at is something like this and something like that, staying away from this because this is our mount point. Now I just need to play with these and come up with some form of a plan as to how I want this all to look, and also to keep these out of the way of this, because they're going to come off this way and they're going to come up into the car on the other side of the little storage box. So on one side of the storage box where the running boards are will be power and ground. On the other side of the storage box up underneath the carpet is going to be our RCAs and our speaker wire. So these need to come around and come over here. I might, now that I'm looking at it now, is bring these up around the top like this and have them come with my RCAs. That is a thought. I'm going to ponder this for a couple minutes and come up with the best game plan. Here's what we've come up with so far. I decided, as you saw, to run the wire across here, keeping it away from this area. The ground is going to go down and over, like I said, to the factory bolt. Power is going to come this way. One of the tips for using zip ties is along here, 4-inch zip ties work great. When you get to the ends, it's better to put a bigger, thicker 8-inch zip tie that will hold this in place, because this is going to move mainly when you're getting it and transporting it to the car, not necessarily once it's in the car. We've had 4-inch zip ties while you're, and it's like, oh crap, they broke, then you got to replace them. So to prevent that, 8-inch zip ties solve that issue. Next is to get the RCAs in here and down and over with these, and get the remote turn on into place, the bass knob, and the speaker wires for the subs, which will come out underneath this and go forward. The remote turn on will follow this, come and then meet up with these wires to run forward to underneath the seat as well. One of the things about the Stinger 4000 cables that's awesome and drives me up the wall are these things here. When you're doing a 6-channel, it's great because they say sub, rear, front. However, when you're running them like this, sometimes that becomes a problem and you have to remove these just to make the wires look nicer. Hopefully we won't have to do it on this one. One of the other unique features about the 4000s and a lot of other cables is they say they're directional. People don't know what that means. A lot of people get confused and then they say stupid things like, I didn't know copper could be directional, or I didn't know a left twist over a right twist, or is my music going to play backwards? What it has to do with is there's a drain wire that is run through this RCA and it's connected at one end and not the other. So think of it as another shield on the RCA to keep noise away from it. That's it. If you hook it up backwards, will my sound work is always another question. Yes, the sound will work, of course. The only problem is that the drain wire could be feeding into the amplifier all the noise that it picks up. Not always the case. When plugging on RCAs into an amplifier, something to avoid is pulling these tight like this. Make sure that there is some extra slack on them. Don't worry about it if it comes over this way some. You want to make sure that you can unplug and plug these back in freely without having to stretch the RCA. Remember, it's in a car, it's going to shake, it's going to wobble. Don't need things so tight that they could possibly work themselves out. RCA's in place. I took the exterior Tessa tape and taped them all together, keeping them nice and flat so that they'll lay up underneath the carpet and won't put a big bump in it. That brings us to the last part, which is this remote turn on wire and these 2 speaker leads. I also remembered to plug in my bass knob right here. There again, doing the same thing, keeping a little extra loop there so that there's no stress on it, and you can easily unplug it and plug it back in. For the sub wire, we have 2 individual wires. When hooking up to this, remember, these 2 are positive, these 2 are negative. Don't go positive, negative, positive, negative. You won't get any sound out of the amplifier. And because of that, we've cut the wires shorter on one side. And that brings us to the end of this particular amp rack. Power is going to run up front. The ground is going to go off to that cool factory ground point. Our subwoofer wires can go down to the subs. These will go up underneath the front seat, bolted into place. Let's get it into the car.